Hey everyone, welcome. This is an AMA with me, Sid, co-founder, CEO of GitLab. And Mark Chris has the first question. Thanks, Mark. Want to verbalize it?
You bet, Sid. Hey, given your own Bitcoin-like project that you spoke about with us not long ago, I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are around competitors to Bitcoin. And do you see any one or two emerging as the new market leader? And then I just listed a few that I had found.
Cool. I'll treat this as like asking about my pets and my favorite foods and stuff like that. This is not investment advice, and I'll share a few opinions. I think if you look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, I'm bullish on Ethereum. I think they just had the London upgrade with a time bomb for December that will help with forcing a switch to proof of stake instead of proof of work, which would mean that it would be the biggest cryptocurrency to become environmentally friendly, where you don't have to kind of burn a lot of electricity anymore to make it work. I think that's amazing. I think it's really cool that they're doing it. I'm also really amazed by the governance of the project. I think Vitalik is an outstanding leader. I think the community around Ethereum is very healthy. And it's amazing to see how they're doing it. It's also that they're taking a lot of small intermediate steps to kind of get to the end results, where they started kind of a second chain and they're merging that chain. I think it shows it's awesome, and I'm therefore I think Ethereum will be relatively very successful going forward. Then you posted a bunch of other points. I don't think there's big advantages to kind of like a Litecoin. It's the same technology as Bitcoin in aggregate. Cardano and Polkadot are interesting. It seems I don't know enough. They're kind of like, I don't know, if you see Bitcoin is first generation, Ethereum second generation, Cardano and Polkadot are like third generation. It allows you to kind of build a coin on top of them and interact between different blockchains. That makes a ton of sense. Relatively, Cardano seems to do better at marketing. Polkadot seems to have a lot of kind of community support, especially in Europe, but that's just a very superficial take on that. I think look at the valuation, Cardano is like a factor of 3 or 4 ahead of Polkadot. I think that the difference should be at least smaller. The next one is Bitcoin Cash. I don't think these kind of fork coins are going to do well. And then Stellar, I think Stellar has great leadership. It has a lot of kind of prominent people in Silicon Valley that are behind it. So apparently they're vouching for the leadership. And I think over the long run, you'll see leadership make a difference. Hope that was useful.
That was great, Sid. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Christina?
Hi, Sid. As a CEO shadow, I've been able to experience your daily schedule firsthand the last couple of days, and I'm super impressed with the cadence of it, efficiency, and just generally how much fun you have in your meetings. And I just wonder what little things kind of help you keep this pace throughout the day, every day, and just enjoy it so much at the same time.
Thanks for that. I'm glad that's coming through, and I think the fun is from not taking ourselves too seriously. Like, we want to do a good job, but like we're not. We don't have to keep up appearances. And I think I don't know. I remember yesterday the meeting where we went through the script and we were kind of highlight a lot of stuff like, oh, we should phrase this and that better. But at the same time, Craig helped us to kind of laugh a bit. And I think that's healthy, and you kind of show you work hard through your results, not by being very pretentious and stiff in meetings. And then the schedule, like most of my meetings are 25 minutes and then a 5-minute break. I think it's super important to me that meetings end on time. So I have that 25 minutes to take care of a text or have a bio break or just get up from my chair and walk. So I really love at GitLab. We end our meetings on time. It's super important that there is like a doc where I can just for 1 minute or sometimes 30 seconds just read what was this about again and just refresh my memory and get kind of loading the program into your brain, and then you do some processing during the meeting, and then during the meeting the shadows are super helpful at kind of downloading the conclusions in the doc, and then we go on. And I want to work on interesting things with talented people, and there's enough of that at GitLab. I think most of the meetings they're hard problems. There's no easy solutions, and we get to work with people who are much better at what they do than I. So that's what keeps it fun and keeps me motivated.
Thank you. That was great.
Thanks for the question, Cindy.
Yeah, so we were doing breakouts in the meetings that are scheduled throughout the day today, which I highly recommend, which was how to have career development conversations with your manager. And it was a lot of discussion and sharing as opposed to, presentation stuff. And not to put, well, I'm going to put Mark on the spot here. Mark had this awesome idea from another company that he was at, which was a way of actually goaling managers to grow good team members. And that was to part of their metrics were the promotions, even outside of the group, and then how 6 months into it, were they doing well and thriving in their new role? But Mark probably can add some color to that too. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. We talk about career discussions, and the career discussions are important, but I think this would even go a step further to make it more of a, I don't want to say a value necessarily, but it like more important.
Mark, you want to answer it?
Yeah, you bet, Sid. And Cindy, thank you for saying that. So earlier in my career, I worked for a startup that wanted to incent us managers to grow our people and make sure that our people didn't feel trapped in a group, or like as managers said, if somebody was really good on our team, our human instinct is to hold on to them, right? Because they're accomplishing great things for the team, but that's not in their best interest. So we were actually, they gave us things called MBOs, which was the forerunner to OKRs. So part of our OKRs were how many of your people have been promoted within your group and outside of your group. And then as Cindy said, we would measure how they're doing 6 months into their new role. And if they were doing well or exceeding, then we would get an additional bonus as another MBO or OKR. So we were constantly, proactively having those conversations with our people. What can I do to help you succeed? Because by doing that, it helps me as a manager.
That's super interesting. Thanks for sharing that. I think at least like the start would be measuring like how many people got promoted kind of outside your group is I think a good criteria, and it's reflective of the success of a manager. I think measuring how many people inside your group got promoted is risky, because as a manager you have a very strong influence there, so that might not lead to the right behavior. At GitLab, we want to make sure that people don't feel stuck inside their group. I think we have a section in the handbook which states like, hey, you can always kind of interview for different roles outside of it. Your manager can never say, hey, this person has to stay here. Now, your manager will be consulted as part of the promotion to make sure that like there's no underlying problem that the other part of the company doesn't know about, but they cannot say like, oh, I just want to hang on to this person, I can't replace them. Like people can also leave the organization at any time. So you don't want to kind of, you want to make it easier to transfer within the organization than to leave it. We put that in the handbook years ago. I've never heard of any problems with that behavior, and I'm very sensitive to that. People should be able to move freely within the organization. And then you talked about the concept of kind of a promotion retrospective, like 6 months later, see how well that person is doing. I think that's super interesting, and that might be something that applies both to kind of promotions within the group and outside the group.
Thank
All
you.
right, sorry. Mark, did you have anything else?
Oh, no, that's perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Cindy, for bringing it up.
Yeah, thanks, Cindy.
Yeah, thanks for talking about it.
All right, we're going to switch to a private stream for the next couple of questions. Give me just a